Yeah, greetings folks, it's Tales from the Jails. Well, I'm going to talk today about radicalism in HM prisons, which to a certain extent did exist when I worked there, but not to the extent that it exists today by all accounts, because there's a report being published. You look at the Daily Express today, featuring there concerning the report for the government by Colin Bloom, the faith advisor to the Ministry of Justice. He's published a 159-page report on radicalism inside HM prisons. It seems that there's a process in prisons where they call it convert or get hurt. You can imagine that, can't you? And what they've been doing, apparently, it obviously centres a great deal on Islam, but Islam is not the only faith. There's Sikhs and Hindus who are also involved in this, and to another extent the Christians, I believe. So it isn't restricted to one particular faith. So be aware of that. But the radicals are saying, you know, you will either convert to our religion or we're going to hurt you. That's the right way to do it, isn't it? So it doesn't matter about your faith. You've just got to accept that you're going to contribute to that or subscribe to that particular belief system, or you're going to get razored or whatever it is, beaten up, clubbed. When I was there, PP9 batteries in a sock were quite popular, and snooker balls in a sock, you know, wearing at the side of the head. I believe they quite hurt. I've seen one or two people injured by them. Gives them concussion, you know. Sometimes it splits the head open at the side, usually at the side, you know. You come up behind them. It's not something that you do straight from the front because you can dodge it a bit. But if you come from behind, you know, so if you're thinking of doing it, it's definitely distract at the front and approach from behind. You got the idea? Yeah. Radicalism in prisons. I mean, when I was at the Scrubs and Strange Ways, the staff actually, I mean, all right, there were some lunatics in the National Front. And there were probably, I would say, 30% of the prison officers did subscribe to that kind of far-right idiocracy. But they did do that, and they went out of their way to make life difficult for inmates who were not shall we say, white Caucasian males. Yeah, so they used to make that difficult for them. But to no avail. I mean, it was going to get nowhere, was it? I mean, also I believe that what's happening today is that members of these radicalised groups are placing copies of the Quran or whatever holy book it is, the Bible or whatever, onto the beds of new arrived inmates and saying, you know, you're a part of this religious movement. And they've formed little gangs in the prisons. And the gangs in the prison are, to a certain extent, taking over and intimidating the staff. Well, if you're, let's say you're a 20-year-old or 21-year-old, 22-year-old female graduate, and you join the prison service with the hope of helping your fellow human beings, and you're 5'2" and 110 pounds, and you're faced with a gang of radicalised inmates, you're likely to take a discreet absence, aren't you, and let them get on with it. Unlike when I was there, in the event that you were faced with a group that decided to do that, you'd get a few of the lads round and make sure that that didn't happen again, and split them up, move them around, if necessary, get them shipped out to a different prison. They don't do that these days. A book that I highly recommend you read if you want to know what it's like to be in a prison where it's extremely radicalised and everybody's split into groups, is a book by Sean Atwood. It's called Hard Time, about when he was in a prison in Arizona. And when you went into the prison, you were virtually allocated your group that you were in. And so you weren't fully integrated, you were in your group. So if you were a white inmate, as Sean Atwood is a white male inmate, yeah, he was with the white male group. And so it went on. But now they're splitting people into religious groups. And of course what we've got here is extremely dangerous. Because where does it all end? Apparently they're extending their remit beyond the parameters of the prisons and threatening to intimidate the family members of staff, which they did when I was there. But it wasn't radicalised groups, it was members of the Irish Republican Army, which I thought was a bit strange, seeing as I'm part Irish myself, and I'm not totally averse to the idea of Irish Republic nationalism, no. I'll seriously object to blowing people up and attacking people and murdering them and stuff like that. Oh yeah, I don't like that. But the idea that Ireland should be a united country, well, I'm not bothered about that. I mean, my ancestors came from there, as did my wife, from a place called Magarafelt, which is Northern Ireland, I believe, somewhere in the north of Ireland, yeah, Northern Ireland. Anyway, so that's what's happening, and the report is by Colin Bloom. You can see a report in the Daily Express today. What would happen if that was happening in the prisons when I was there? Well, there'd be a very brief interchange in which people got hurt. You take your chance, you see. You want to start laying down, this gang runs the jail? Well, we'll find out which gang runs the jail. And personally, my money would be on Bootsy and Co. Anyway, the time of terror has come. Dun, 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 dun. Yes, folks, it's the song dinger. What frightening music may occur when Sutton hits the vocal cords. Here we go. This is a song by Billie Holiday. Your final warning, that. Time to escape. Grab your goat and go. That's for Larry the goat herd, by the way. Paula, of course, splish splashing along the Clyde. Don't know what Catherine's doing. Singing with her mother. Yeah, because they've read all my books, you know, Catherine, who is on here. She quite liked them, they said. You can have a look online. Have a look on Amazon, yeah. There's loads of my books on there. I think there's 12 or 13 books of mine on Amazon. I still am a prolific author, or relatively prolific. Here we go. This is I Cover the Waterfront. And now I've got problems with my eyes, as you probably gathered. It takes me, because the lyrics are on the screen, you see. But this is by Billie Holiday. I love Billie Holiday, you know. Fantastic, soulful voice, you know. She died quite young, drug overdoses and all that. She had her boyfriend was Lester Young. He played the saxophone. You have a look on YouTube, Lester Young playing Stardust. Oh, it's absolutely mesmeric. Yeah. Lester Young, Stardust, on YouTube. Anyway, this isn't Lester Young, and this isn't a saxophone. This is the growlophone. Yeah, here we go. I cover the waterfront. I cover the waterfront. I'm watching the sea. With the one I love be coming back to me. Yeah. I cover the waterfront in search of my love, and I'm covered by a starlit sky above. Here am I, patiently waiting, hoping and longing. Oh, how I yearn. Where are you? Have you forgotten? Will you remember? Will you return? I cover the waterfront. Yeah, I'm watching the sea. Will the one I love be coming back to me? Here am I, patiently waiting, hoping and longing. Oh, how I yearn. Where are you? Have you forgotten? Will you remember? Will you return? I cover the waterfront. I'm watching the sea. Will the one I love be coming back to me? I would think if they hear that, then I can wave goodbye, because not only will they not be coming back, they're probably bloody emigrated. Anyway, thank you very much for listening to Tales from the Jails. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and buy my book, folks. It's on Amazon. HMP Manchester Prison Officer. Bye.